All right, Sylvester Chisom here. I am super excited to have a great friend of mine, a great expert in the marketing space, Dr. Perry Drake. Let me tell you about Perry, okay? Perry Drake is the department co-chair and assistant teaching professor of digital and social media marketing in the College of Business Administration at the University of Missouri, St. Louis. He's also a published author on the book Optimal Database Marketing. Prior to joining UMSL, he was a professor at NYU for 14 years. And the way I got to know Perry is the founder of MDMC, the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, which is the largest digital marketing conference in the Midwest, rated one of the top marketing conferences in the country by Forbes. Over 2,000 marketers and attendees, over 130 speakers from BuzzFeed, Pandora, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Under Armour, you name it, LinkedIn, HubSpot, Google. It's a great space for marketers. And actually, it's coming up April 26th through 29th, bestmarketingconference.com. I encourage everyone to join. I learn so much every year and have also had the honor of speaking at this conference. Perry, you're an expert in this space. What suggestions, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs, small business owners to thrive in this new normal post-pandemic? Like what should they be thinking about?
Right. Now, well, first of all, thank you for the plug and the great intro, Sylvester. Yeah. You're a great friend, I think it's kind of hard to say because I think it depends on where the business has been through this process as well. If they've been affected through shutdown or if they've been able to stay open. I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is you're going to have to gauge the pulse of your customers as they're starting to come back to figure out how they want to be dealt with, how they want to be communicated with. I think every business is probably going to be a little bit different. I know me, for example, I'm sure you too, I think we're all tired of hearing, we're in this together, or, some of that same old lingo that's been played over and over again, or even the new normal, or whatever the case might be. So I think it's being very empathetic, listening, hearing what's kind of happening out there and figuring out how you're going to kind of reopen, what sort of messaging you're going to have. I don't think there's one size fits all, Sylvester, unfortunately. And I think it's just taking it slow, engaging what is resonating with your audience in a way that's being very sympathetic, empathetic to their cause, their needs, etc. Hopefully that kind of answers the question.
I think it does, Perry. I like that you said there's no one size fit all, but I think going deeper on the customer connection and tapping in to your customer to get to better understand maybe some of the pain points that they're going through right now. Right. I personally, I think that's important. Like what would you say about engaging with their customers for someone who is new, like let's say it's a new small business owner or a new entrepreneur? Right. What are some ways that you think they can maybe enhance their customer connection using online platforms or digital marketing, social media? Are you seeing some things that are working in that space?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's making the connections as safe as possible, at least initially, and making the customer feel safe, however that is. And again, keep in mind, that might be generational as well. So if your customer base is 18, 24-year-olds, they might be a little more comfortable with not having that distance, whereas those that are a little older are going to require that, and maybe digital tools is what is going to help with respect to ordering online or engaging online. And then just how lighthearted you take different things on social. Again, same thing. It just depends on where your audience is and whether you feel you can kind of push those buttons a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you saw the new kind of Jingle Bells COVID style video we did for our students, having a little bit of fun with the situation. But, we also needed to be very, I guess I'll just say, empathetic and realistic and cautious, and not go overboard with that, where we might upset somebody who might have lost a loved one due to COVID. So it's a hard line to draw. I mean, you know, to figure out if you know what I mean. So
No,
yeah,
absolutely. I think but I do think that's awesome. Like what you just said, creating a unique piece of content that may be lighthearted but still sensitive, um, to the situation
right.
that's happening.
Yeah.
Something
Well, and
I'm
again,
noticing.
email.
You
Sure.
said say that again about
No,
email.
I was just going to say, I mean, email strategy is going to be critical as well now to stay connected, keep your customer informed about what you're doing, how
Mhm.
you're servicing, how you might have changed your servicing, all of those sort of things. So that's going to be probably one of your most effective tools to connect with your hardcore customers that you have.
Mhm.
And even doing that out on social the same way, how you're changing things or not, or whatever, and listening to the response of your customers coming back where they don't like that or they don't, you know what I mean? And those sort of things coming back in. So sorry,
Yeah,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, no, no. That's a great point, and those are kind of the things that I was hoping to draw out, like from you, things
Right,
like that.
right,
How important it is to communicate and what the channel. So if you're using email marketing, it's good to keep people up to date on hey, we're
right.
open, or if it's a restaurant, we're 25% capacity, or we have a limited menu option, or something like that. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Sylvester, I mean, take advantage of, like you said, these digital tools. I mean, even if it's a restaurant that's reopening and they want to
Mhm.
make their customer or potential customers or old customers feel comfortable, maybe you do a video inside the restaurant showing how it works. That you got, you know, I just came, I had to take a short trip to New York because we had sold our condo. And I mean, they put up plexiglass walls between tables. I don't think I've seen that here necessarily. But you know, just showing them what the environment looks like so they feel comfortable stepping into those are, you know, arenas or whatever. So, and video would be a great way to do it, or even doing an audio or a little podcast and pushing it out, you know, chatting with some of the workers and whatever the case might be. So
Yeah,
just a great
I
way to
like
tell the
that. I
story.
like that. Trying to use this moment to create content that's tied to your business, and to highlight
Right.
safety, creating content that shows like this is how we're managing the pandemic. So if you still want to operate and do business with us, it's safe because we're
Right.
doing this,
Yeah.
and this. So I like that. One thing, Perry, I'll let you go after this. I know you're on the run. Can you talk to me about moving for the business who has only maybe been in a physical environment where customers come to their location? And I'm seeing a huge need for every
Mm,
business to rethink how they're doing their business and how
absolutely.
can they do what they do online. Like how important is it to find a way to shift whatever it is that you're doing in the physical world, to find a way to bring that to the internet? Can you talk to me about
Yeah.
that?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think you're absolutely right. It's critical that you bring some part of the digital element into it. Look, even if you're a dry cleaners, you can
Okay.
minimize contact inside by them going onto their accounts, you know, kind of saying what they're dropping off, or they're making a drop off, taking care of the credit card transaction there. And maybe there's a drop box or drop baskets outside, you know, or right inside the door or whatever. So it's using that technology to connect up, pre-order, prepay. Again, I was just having to order some new heartworm medicine for our dogs. And again, they've gone to a totally digital sort of reordering process. So where I'm
Mhm.
doing everything through the app and I'm downloading the portal. Um, yeah, it was a little bit of a pain initially. Yeah, I've got to learn how to do this, but it will make things more efficient down the road, and it creates safety all the way around for me, the other pet owners, all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. I
And
really see the.
there's and you well know there's out of the box solutions for everybody. I mean, you know, even for my conference, we are now doing a lot of on-demand content. So we are in the process now of finding a new web portal to house all of our on-demand content so that people can physically jump in and search for different topics on the Instagram algorithm or whatever, pull that in and watch speakers like yourself talking on different topics. So we're in the process of doing that at the moment, and you know, working with our conference software vendor to bring in all sorts of other ways to engage our customers that we've lost because of COVID. So trying to bring that in as realistically as we can. But
Yeah,
you almost
what's
have to.
that?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, what's that experience been like for you, shifting a 2,000 plus live event with vendors, speakers,
Right.
food trucks, music, and bringing that into an
Yeah.
online experience? Like, how are you thinking about that?
Yeah, well, I would rather be back the face-to-face live. I miss it. But you know what? It's been kind of exciting thinking of new things we can do that we haven't done before. Like we're thinking of doing, I guess, what we are going to call MDMC digital drops during the live streaming, where people will be capturing codes while live streaming is going on to win prizes. Just figuring out how to do a VIP club lounge. We always used to have the VIP reception for speakers before the conference started. So thinking about how are we going to do this digitally? So we're brainstorming of thinking of bringing in a somewhat popular, let's say, Food Network sort of celebrity, quasi-celebrity, to do a 15-minute demo to get the people in the room and engaged and keep them there. So again, just you've got to pivot. I mean, you've got to
Yeah, and
pivot and
thinking
figure out
what I'm
how to
thinking.
make it work.
Yeah, what I'm taking away from you, Perry, pivot, think outside of the box, and be excited about the new opportunities that are created
Oh,
from
absolutely.
this situation. I think the great entrepreneurs, the great event planners, the great small business owners will thrive around change. And I think some
Yeah.
good things will
And you
come
know
out
what?
of it.
Yeah, and even when we get past COVID, I will probably still embrace some of these new digital ways to bring people in, because it's allowing me to capture a different audience in a way as well. So I'll probably always continue the on-demand digital library. So I don't think any small business owner should think, well, if I spend all this money doing this digital stuff, then after COVID, I'm going back and now I spent all that money and I lost that money. I mean, we're gonna be in, this is pushing us to become more and more digital. I mean, just even Zoom, the way we lecture at the university, and it's kind of exciting, and it makes it a little easier for some folks to get involved, and just like you and I, just hooking up this way last minute instead of trying to run off to a coffee shop or whatever, right? So
Oh,
there are some benefits, although I got to be honest with you, I've got it today, except you shifted for me a little bit. I had an 8
okay.
o'clock Zoom, I got a 9 o'clock, a 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and a 12 o'clock Zoom. I almost set up a 1 o'clock, and I thought, I've got my limits. I can't do can't do
Yeah,
6
there is
Zooms.
Zoom fatigue is a real thing.
Right,
That's
right.
the whole. You should have a seminar at the conference, like Zoom fatigue, how to fight Zoom fatigue, because
Right.
it is a real thing. But
Oh,
it
it
is cool
is. It is.
because in a last minute situation, if you need to change or I need to change, we would completely had to cancel the
Yeah.
meeting. However, you can do it in your living room. You could do it
Right.
in the car, on your phone. Like
Yeah.
that option is available, and I appreciate that. But Perry, thank you so much for your time. I'm
Yeah.
not going to hold you too much longer. Last minute, let us know where we can find more information about the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference coming up.
Yeah. Thanks, Sylvester. Just go to bestmarketingconference.com, or if you Google MDMC, you'll find the landing page. And did you submit a proposal, Sylvester?
Yes.
To the
Yes, sir.
You did?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen them. That's a different team.
Cool.
So okay, just wanted to make sure you did. Okay, awesome. Yeah,
All right.
thanks so
Thanks,
much,
Perry.
Sylvester.
All right. Talk to
Okay.
you soon.
Have a good one. Yeah.
You too,
Bye.
brother.